Hi, I'm Steve Marsden from Southertons. Thanks for pushing play. Recently there's been a fair bit of discussion about which taxes businesses hate the most. And the answer from the feedback that we hear from businesses is fairly obvious. Business owners always say the most hated tax is payroll tax by far. And we find that small businesses hate this tax with a vengeance because from their perspective it simply doesn't make sense. It's an imposition of tax on labour when they're trying to grow their business. Governments or government treasury departments have recently released a report suggesting that businesses are fairly ambivalent to payroll tax. But I'd like to know who on earth they spoke to, or whether it was just a discussion held in the hallowed halls of the Treasury building around the water cooler. They suggest that payroll tax is not a disincentive to grow, but that's not what SMEs are telling us. When we talk to them about their businesses, we hear that it halts business growth to a large extent, and the tax makes some businesses less competitive as a result of an additional overhead from being successful. It's potentially a success tax, and it represents around 4% of additional costs to your payroll bill. And many look to try and avoid reaching that threshold because they don't want to incur the impost. The other thing is, at that point, they suddenly become less competitive than their main competitors if they're under the threshold. So the other thing to keep in mind is that each state has their own payroll tax, and unfortunately it's unlikely the states will make a move to make payroll tax or to end payroll tax while the federal government or until the federal government can introduce an additional revenue stream for them. According to ABS data, in 2016, payroll taxes raised $22.7 billion, and that's about 28% of the total taxation revenue for all states. There's already angst because there's assessment inconsistencies from state to state, and it's very much a state-based tax. So it's up to the states individually to decide what they do with payroll tax. And given the dollars that flow, it's unlikely they'll find an alternative funding source. Of course, they could put up the GST. We should always remember that GST was supposed to be the additional cash flow that states needed, but states never actually got around to getting rid of the dreaded payroll tax. And of course, now they feel that the current level of GST is not enough. Wouldn't we love governments of Australia to live within their means? Mr Turnbull, consider this for the upcoming budget, please. Don't put a tax on success for small business. For more information about payroll tax or any other taxes, call the team at Southertons on 4972 1300. Thanks for watching.